Okay, so this video is going to serve as notes, but it's also going to kind of serve as your demonstration on your first shape that has some curved parts, because you cannot model without curves. It's all nice having 90-degree angles and everything, but reading drawings with curved lines gets a little more complicated. So let's look at this. We definitely have a hole, and so that's going to have to be a separate extrusion. We've got some rounded corners. That's something else. But if you look, they define a rounded corner by its radius, which is halfway across the circle. So it's from here to the edge. A hole, they always define it with the diameter, and that's what this symbol means. It's a circle with a line through it, and radius is just an R. So this means diameter, that means the distance all the way across the circle. So that's shown here. Now every circle has to have two dimensions to place it, so a vertical and a horizontal placement dimension, and then a size dimension, which will be its actual size. So your circle should not turn black until you have three dimensions on it: the horizontal, a vertical, and the size. If you look in here, we've got some hidden lines. That's from the circle, and it's kind of weird that a circle from the side looks like just a rectangle. But that's how it is. If you look at a cylinder directly from the side, you see the sides, and it just looks like a square. Until we have the top view, we don't have enough information to show that it's a square. So I think the way that I would do this, I'm going to start by making an L. So all the way through, just kind of like our first part, and that's 1 by 1. So I could make two squares to do that. And then we can cut this corner off pretty easily. We've got the dimensions there, 0.25 and 0.75. And then we can go and round the corners, and finally we'll put our hole in. So I'm going to go back into Onshape. I'm going to create a new document. So this is called Shape 5. I'm going to call this Shape 5 Video, because I'm making the video right now. So we'll start first. We'll make a sketch in our front view. And it's up to you if you want to rotate it or not. We did that at first because it was easier. I'm going to use some constraints when I do this though. So now I've got this is a square. So if I look at this, it says 1 by 1. So I looked at that, I said, okay, that's a square. That means both sides are equal. So I can do a little different work, and then I don't have as much work. So I'm going to choose equal here. And I'm going to make both sides of my square equal. Then I'll take my dimension tool, and I'm going to make this a 1. So now this is 1, this is 1. Everything's black because it's fully dimensioned. So now I'm going to make another square here, and I go back to my shape. I have 0.25 here and 0.25 here, so that means that I'm left with a 0.75 square. So I'm going to do the same thing with the equal. That's parallel. This is equal. And then I'm going to dimension one side here, 0.25, and now my L is ready to extrude. So I'm going to click the check and go back to my drawing just to find my depth. So my overall depth is either here or here on the side of my top view or the top of my right view, and it looks like it's 0.75. I'm going to extrude, click inside the L, and I'm going to flip the direction just because. And I put 0.75 in and click the check. So now I've got my L. So the next thing that we're going to do is cut this corner off. So it's 0.25 from the edge, and it's 0.75 from the bottom. So I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to start a sketch on this plane right here. And this time I am going to flip it so I can see better. So I'll take my rectangle, I'm going to find the top corner, and I'm going to drag it over. Now I'll get my dimension tool. This one's easy, so it's 0.25 from the edge. Make sure you're going from the correct edge. So this is like the right edge here. So you want it to look like this. So this, I'll dimension that 0.25. Now this one's a little weird because the dimension that we gave is from the bottom. I'm going to choose the bottom of the whole shape that we have and go here, type in my dimension at 0.75, and click the check. Now I'm going to go back to isometric. You can rotate it with, if you have a mouse, right clicking will rotate it, or you can use your view cube. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, which I'm rolling my mouse wheel. So I click extrude, remove, and then there's that. Okay, so my next part I'm going to do, because I love fillets, I'm just going to round the corners. So it says radius 0.25 sim. It means similar. That means that all the radiuses in this that look like that are actually that. So that means we have to round these two corners on our shape. So we do that with the fillet tool, and I type in my radius is 0.25, and I'm going to, oops, didn't want to do that. So I'm going to click on it again, and it'll get rid of it. So I'm going to click on the edge, and then the edge, and now my part is rounded off. I'm almost done. Just got this hole to make. So I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to make a sketch on this plane that's on the front, draw a circle, and then I'll start filling in my dimensions. So I'm going to make a sketch here on the front. I'm going to go to my top view, so I'm looking down on it, and I'm going to make a circle. Now some of you guys know how to center, and so if you want to center this, it is in the center. You can use that method that we showed in class or that you've learned, but for this video we're just going to dimension it. So I'm going to take my dimension tool, and let's go look at this. So from the bottom, or like this front side, it's 0.375. I'm going to go from here to here, type in 0.375. We almost had it. And then it gives us the dimension from the back. It's 0.625. No problem. Just start here, click on the center, 0.625. Alright, now my last thing is the diameter of the circle. So I'll go here, and there's that symbol. That diameter symbol is right there. So now that sketch is done. Notice my circle is black because I have two dimensions and one size, two space dimensions and one size. So I click the check and go back to a 3D view, click extrude, click in my circle, click remove, and there it is. So there's our shape. We always check our properties, so click the scale, click on it. You should have 0.241 inches cubed. If you do, good. If not, you got to go back and find out what you messed up. So go back into your sketches. You can double click on your sketch and change it. Make sure all your dimensions are there, and I'm happy to help.